it's exciting. It's exciting for the Padres organization. It's exciting for San Diego to see, ownership in this organization really pushing for a guy like that. Once you add a guy like that in the lineup, he really, really helps everyone else around him. So it's exciting to see.
It's another San Diego Padre all-star, Will Myers. Forgot about him. Eric Hosmer, Will Myers, guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. coming up, and now Manny Machado. They're assembling a big-time roster in San Diego. And while the Dodgers and Rockies may be a bit better this year, maybe even the Giants if they get Bryce Harper, Padres are maybe 2 years removed now, I should say 2 years away now from being a really good baseball team. Manny Machado signs a 10-year deal, $300 million, takes his talents to Santa Anita. Jim Leyritz, between 90 and 96, one of the best Yankees ever because of the clutch. How many big home runs did Jim Leyritz hit in his stay? Then he went to Anaheim and Texas and Boston. Then he had a very memorable stay with more huge home runs, ironically, in San Diego. Padre team that took on the Yankees in the World Series in 99. So Jim Leyritz knows New York Yankee baseball and San Diego Padre baseball. Now what's interesting is this. Leyritz texted me yesterday. Says, I'll come on tomorrow. And by the way, I think Manny Machado is still going to be a Yankee.
Yep.
That was 10:17 a.m. yesterday morning. My response was, I agree, at 10:21 yesterday morning. We found out at 10:30 he's going to be a Padre. But you played in New York and San Diego. Let's start with San Diego. Young baseball team, great minor league system, maybe a couple of years away from being really, really good. It's paradise. Weather's perfect. Not nearly the pressures of New York. You were there. Is that not a great place to play?
Oh, it was, besides New York, it was the greatest place I did play after playing for 6 different teams. But
hold on. You say besides New York, but don't forget, you tasted World Series success and home runs in New York. He comes from Baltimore and one quick World Series stint with the Dodgers. He doesn't have that dramatic New York win behind him like you did.
Exactly, but I also think probably spending a little time in L.A., he got to see what the weather's like out there every single day. There's nothing like it. I can tell you, last year at the Hall of Fame when Trevor Hoffman got inducted, I was sitting with Ron Fowler because I went to all the inductions with Trevor and AJ Preller, and they were talking about I said to them, I'm befuddled that they don't get more free agents there because it's a great place to be, especially if you're going to sign a 10-year contract, to raise a family, to be there full-time year-round. The weather's perfect. I mean, it's just taxes are tough. The taxes are tough anyway.
Here too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the bottom line was, you look at the San Diego Padres. You look at what they've been doing over the last couple of years. They've been building. They have the number one farm system in baseball, according to ESPN and every other book that's out there. You got Hosmer was there last year. Didn't have a good year, but didn't have a whole lot of support. Will Myers is there, like you mentioned. But now you're going to have Machado. You got Urias, and then, of course, Fernando Tatis Jr., who is touted as maybe better than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who is the top prospect right now for next year in Major Leagues. This team's going to be pretty good. You're going to want to, Manny Machado might be the second best infielder in 2 years.
Wow.
In that infield. So I think it's going to be interesting to see it. I think these guys are finally putting out the money, and I think you're going to see a change, hopefully, in the San Diego atmosphere that more free agents are going to want to come there and play.
The climate is Southern California. Nothing beats it. Florida, it blows Florida away with the no humidity, whatever it is. But does the Yankees without Manny Machado, Aaron Judge yesterday, and Aaron Boone also they're saying that we're fine.
Yeah,
we're good. We don't really need the guy.
No,
now they're saysaying that, but is that true?
Well, it's one of those things when I said, I think I was probably talking to you at the time,
yeah.
When Troy Tulowitzki came out, when Colorado released him, or Toronto released him, and when that happened, the first thing I said is, if I'm the New York Yankees for $500,000, why aren't I signing this guy tomorrow? Yeah. Especially if he comes back even a little bit healthy and is able to put that stopgap in between until Didi gets back. This is the perfect scenario. You save the money. Guys, listen, next year you're going to need money because Mike Trout's available. And if I'm going to put a franchise player...
And Arenado. So if the kid goes backwards defensively this year, Andujar, Arenado is every bit as good as Manny. You get him next year.
Now, that's good, but is this rationalizing?
Yes.
Or
no.
This actually...
No, it's true. Listen, the Yankees needed help, as you know, Jimmy, in other areas. They had to spend money on pitching, which they did. They had to spend money on bullpen help, which they did. They could not afford, after getting Stanton last year, to blow $300 million on Machado or Harper. They are good enough offensively. They got to stay healthy, and you got to get Gary Sanchez to come back and play like Gary Sanchez. But to add another bat like that, that's just the rich getting richer. That's crazy.
Well,
they need it.
Yeah, you look at the Yankees. They won 100 games last year. They improved their pitching. They're starting pitching this offseason. Their bullpen is still lights out. And now you got you got another year for Andujar to have under his belt. People keep talking about what a bad year he had at third base. He made less. I don't know if this is an exact thing, but I think he made less errors than Derek Jeter did his first year.
Right.
He just didn't look that good making the errors.
Right.
But offensively, what this guy brings and what the possibilities. I remember talking to Chris Chambliss, and Chris Chambliss said, "This guy reminds me of a young Hank Aaron as far as his hands go."
Miguel
That's a
Andujar?
huge
Wow.
compliment. And when he said it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. He goes, I was there during that time. This guy his natural ability and the way he swings the bat, that's who he reminds him of. That's a huge compliment. And I think you got to give this guy that opportunity. And I think Brian Cashman and them did a great job. They offered here's $220. We want you to come, but we're not going any further.
Right.
Man, he got $300 million. I'm going to San Diego for $80 million.
Right. Listen, by the way, you guys should have texted me because for days my sources were telling me that Machado was going to the Padres. But,
You had it? Bernie had it?
I kept it close to the vest.
Yeah. I would believe you if I didn't see Tim Kirkchin come on at 10:30 and go, oh, my God, I'm shocked. Anyway, Jim Leyritz, 90 through 96, an amazing Yankee, did spend time in San Diego, and they were a very good team, World Series team. Tony Gwynn and those guys. Machado goes to San Diego. Now Bryce Harper is next.
Yep.
And the discussion was, well, Scott Boras was waiting. Now that Machado got 300, Harper wants 400. That's nonsense. Not going to happen. He's going to get about the same, maybe 10 or 20 more. That's it than Manny Machado. But again, much like Manny, when you've got Judge and Stanton in your outfield, in your lineup, they don't really need Bryce Harper either. I don't expect him to land here either. Maybe San Francisco. What are you hearing about Bryce Harper?
Well, no, like you mentioned, I think he's going to wind up. I really thought he was going to go to the Dodgers. When the Dodgers made the trade with Kemp and Puig, to me that just signaled, okay, we're going to make that room for Harper.
By the way, the Reds are going to be very good this year with those guys.
Real good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah.
Thank God. That's my team growing up in
I know.
Cincinnati. But as soon as that trade was made, I thought for sure they were signing Harper right away because that made sense. He's from Vegas. He wants to be on the West Coast. That made sense for me. Now you hear San Francisco, and
Philly still, I guess.
And the Phillies, and I think the Phillies have to get him. Well, that fan base is going to go crazy down there because you know what? They've made some other great moves.
Great.
They've built themselves.
Andrew McCutchen pitching.
But I will say this: Philadelphia fans, stay back a little bit because everybody's going to try to get into the Mike Trout sweepstakes next year, and the two places we know he wants to go are New York and Philadelphia.
Wow.
You got that opportunity. If they're talking about in Anaheim, discussing a long-term contract. If they don't win out there this year, he's not going to stay out there. He's going to go somewhere where he can win.
We'll take him.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
We were talking to Aaron Boone a couple of weeks ago, and I always find this interesting, the competition during spring training for who's going to play what. You have Luke Voigt and Greg Bird competing for first. Does it get ugly? I mean, does somebody, twist an ankle? Does the other guy, start clapping or something like that? I mean, does it get ugly?
Deep inside you do, but...
It does, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is? One of those situations where, I made a career out of it. When you get that opportunity, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to step in there and do something. And Luke Voigt did that last year. Yep. And unfortunately, he is kind of like I said he always reminded me of me, how he plays the game and how he's cocky enough to say, listen, I knew I could always do this once I got a chance. Yeah. He's going to get that opportunity in spring training, and he's going to have to do it again. It's unfortunate that a player like that has to keep proving over and over again.
Right.
But unfortunately,
that was you.
That was my situation.
Every year.
Yeah, and you have to do
easy.
it.
Yeah.
But you know what? The benefits that you get after it is worth it.
No doubt.
Last one. Aaron Boone, I thought, did a very good job last year. I kept fighting with the callers, and not even Bernie, but other people in town. They were killing him. Stanton strikes out 5 times. Boone's fault. Stop. They won 101 games last year, but Girardi had him 1 game from the World Series 2 years ago. Boone got him to the ALDS last year. Now they're saying, we don't need Harper, we don't need Machado. I agree. But now there's a tremendous amount of pressure. Year 2, not year 1, but year 2 on Aaron Boone to have a big year for the Yanks. Agree or disagree?
Oh, agree 100%. You got to figure out, last year would not have been, I don't think we'd have been on Aaron Boone as much had the Red Sox just not run away with everything.
Right.
I mean, they had the magical season that the Yankees.
Which again wasn't Boone's fault.
Right.
Also, it wasn't Boone's fault that everybody got hurt and Gary Sanchez forgot how to play baseball.
Well, exactly. I mean, when you're a catcher that you think is going into spring training is your number one hitter, and he winds up hitting 190 the entire year, and is a defensive liability behind the plate. That's a problem. I think they've worked this all season. I know Joe Girardi has said it a few times on MLB Network about what he thought the situation with Sanchez was and the problems. Maybe they heard that and finally they're going to start trying to correct that. But it's a situation where you got to expect him to bounce back at least a little bit better. Maybe 250, 270 with the same amount of home runs. But more importantly, I think the pitching staff, the starting pitching staff has improved so much. And I think this Paxton kid, if he can handle the pressures of New York, he's going to be like an Andy Pettitte. He's going to be somebody special here.
Jim Leyritz, Yankee great. Jim, listen, one question. Are you a John Wayne fan?
I am a John Wayne fan. But real quick, too, I just want to let you know I'm here tonight.
Yeah.
We got the John Starks bowling event.
Oh, yes, a big event.
Okay.
Yeah. John Starks does like 3 events throughout the year, bowling and golf and a casino night.
Yeah, in my charity Pink Tie that I work for, we sponsored a bowling alley there tonight. We're going to have a little bowl off against John and some of the...
Now, Pink Tide from our good friend Mike Cave.
Absolutely.
He's been on with us, yes.
Yeah, so, we're going to have a good time tonight. Hopefully there's not too much snow out there and keep the people from coming, but...
where is it again?
It's at Lucky Strike Lanes on 10th Avenue.
Okay.
Right by the West Side Highway and about in the 40s.
So that it's open to the public, obviously.
Well, is this event open to the public?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
I got you.
I just know that I anytime I get an opportunity to work with John and his foundation for what they do for kids with scholarships for the underprivileged kids, it's just such a great opportunity and to be a part of it. Like
Good for you. Very nice.
We love John Stark, and we love you more. In fact, we love you the most. Jim Leyritz, great New York Yankee, great San Diego Padre. Baseball season is here.
Let's get it.
So we expect you to be a guest often on the Bernie and Sid show and Sundays as well. So
we'd love to.
All right, the great Jim Leyritz, we love you.
Thank you.